of yours.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren, I just mentioned it in my newscast. I call her the also known as I thought I was an Indian, also known as I could be president, also known as leave me alone because I drink beer. Did you know that she has called on Attorney General William Barr to resign
Oh, yeah.
over the criminal case against retired Army Lieutenant General Michael Flynn?
Yep.
He's the
Well, I mean, there was, Nancy Pelosi's asked for his resignation. I mean, this is typically what they do when they look at these, different kinds of cases. They're looking at the fact that they can't win on the facts, so let's just tell a whole bunch of people on all the mainstream media that this guy's a bad guy, and we need to get rid of him, and here's the reason why. So the reason why I wanted to talk about the issue with Flynn, and actually talk about this because it really kind of blew up on yesterday on the Sunday shows, is the fact that Flynn was an Obama appointee originally,
right.
And I actually interviewed him on a couple of occasions, and I still have the video, which is him in person and myself in person, talking about this issue. And what this conversation includes is motive. So when you're looking at Flynn and why they were going after Flynn on the NSA charges and things like that, they leave a lot of questions that's kind of lying out there that aren't necessarily crimes. They went into this because Barack Obama had a axe to grind with Flynn, if you will. And that act was that the Damascus to Baghdad highway that was filled with ISIS leaders and them going in to wreak havoc in Iraq, this was Flynn's big red flag. He called the president and said, look, we need to stop these guys in their tracks. They're going to be in the middle of the desert. There'll be virtually zero collateral damage. We need to get rid of these guys. And this is ISIS. This isn't Al-Qaeda. And as you remember, the president said that, he got rid of all of Al-Qaeda. And this was a reincarnation virtually. And Flynn refused, he said that he couldn't live with that decision. And the Obama administration ended up firing because Flynn wanted this information out there.
Yeah, wasn't it that Obama said Al-Qaeda's on the run? And then Flynn went on an interview and said, no, they're not, and was quoting exactly what you're talking about now. You know what, as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But I never make mistakes. Okay, anyway. I know that's part of the equation, but the other part is Hurricane Crossfire, where Flynn was upset that they were spying on American citizens. And he knew about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he knew about, there's a lot of, as we see, really the last, 48 hours, Richard Grinnell, who's the ODNI director currently, he's taken a whole bunch of documents as well as declassified documents. He was, a picture of him on Friday, taking it to the White House, and included in all of this stuff is the evidence that, the Obama administration and the people that are high up on the echelon of that administration were not actually doing things that were lawful. And, we remember Susan Bryce and Samantha Powers at the UN demasking American names, which is never supposed to happen. You can, declassify the name that the search and the investigations around, but you cannot release other American citizens. We know that happened to undermine the Trump administration. So, Flynn played a big role in all of this, and Flynn, if we all remember, was a Democrat. So you look at Flynn, and he really is an honest broker. There are a lot of people I've talked to over the weekend that say that he's most likely got a lot of, lawsuits that he can potentially file for false, defamation and false charges and things of that nature. So we'll see if he gets some of that money back. He spent more than $9 million in legal fees. So, we'll see if something comes of that. But it's when you see these people that are going after the administration, this is what everyone, I believe, has been waiting for, to see these documents, see how people were, really the Democrat Party, they were the ones that were colluding together to ensure that Hillary Clinton took the throne, because that way their secrets would all die in a, watery grave, if you will, and nobody would be prosecuted on these facts. And we're finding documents where that is completely contrary.
I really believe, Kimberly, that a lot of Americans, let me put a word before that, a lot of Democrat Americans are kind of waking up a little bit. Boy, this, these Democrats, man, they're kind of going, and playing the dirty deal here. Tomorrow I'll have on Kelly Nelson, one of my great researchers, and she's also a good friend of Flynn, and worked with him very carefully. She was also with him whenever he was at the Phyllis Schlafly thing they have. They have a thing still going on. And
the screaming,
yeah. And what I want to do is, once again, because I'm telling you, they threatened, to put his son in jail. And that's when he stepped on the hand grenade and said, I'll take all the responsibility. Go ahead. Throw the book at me.
Well, that's absolutely true as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that most people don't even understand, and the media, for the most part, didn't really talk about this. And it's most likely because the prosecution said, you start talking about it, and we will indict your son. His son, his wife, he was in a marriage, and they had just had a baby when all of this started flying around. And, just like any parent would do in a situation like this, you would definitely say, no, I'm not going to go after my child. I'm going to take the fall for this and whatever. You make a plea, whether you're guilty or not. And a plea doesn't, assume guilt. This is also, I'm going to kind of shift here a little bit to the Obama administration, where over the weekend, President Obama spoke about about the Flynn prosecution, and that he was worried about the rule of law and all of this. Well, when he was, in his conversation, first, the media actually did a really good job. They don't do this for Trump at all, but when you're listening to what the President Obama was saying about this case, and you had the transcript of what he was saying on TV, he stuttered and repeat is in the is. And on the screen, you did not see that. But if it's Trump, when they put the thing on, and that was on Fox News, by the way. And if you look at when they take the translation of President Trump, this goes to perception of intelligence or whatnot. They put in every sound and every is. If they repeat the word, they put it up on the screen for people to read. So I mean, this is ways the media can undermine somebody. I digress.
Well, I'll tell you. You knew that. The story came out today about Chuck Todd, NBC's Meet the Press. He edited the conversation. That let me see here. Anyway, it was in Flynn's case. I'm trying to see who. Yeah, the remarks made by Attorney General William Barr, and anyway, they edited the part where it was so bad. You'll have to check that out. Hey, real quick, because I know you're a friend of Michael Flynn, and like Kelly and I, we've been putting this out a lot. And I guarantee you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that President Trump is not going to give Flynn a stimulus check, okay, or a coronavirus check. So remember, it's Mike Flynn Defense Fund.org, MikeFlynnDefenseFund.org, because he's already lost his house, everything. And thank God he finally got a good lawyer,
Yeah. Well, and what I'll say about President Obama, when he had this quote that they say it was leaked, yet he had a conference call with 3,000 of his best friends, and nobody was going to leak that apparently. He came out, and that's where we hear that that the president, that Flynn was going to really mess with the rule of law that is happening in this country, and he couldn't believe that he was going to be getting off scot-free, and this was just a devastating day for justice and whatnot. Well, and then he went on to say that that Flynn was accused of perjury, and how can somebody who's accused and convicted of perjury be set free and have no consequences? Well, I would, actually ask the former president if he read the charging sheet, and Flynn was never, found guilty of perjury. No, he was found guilty, not necessarily guilty, but he signed a plea to lying to the FBI. That's not perjury. That's not in a court of law. Like Clinton, when he rose his hand in front of national TV and said, "I did not sleep with that woman," he lied. He lied, and he faced 0 perjury charges after the fact. So, the former president of the United States, who's supposed to be a constitutional expert, who had to turn in his law license, for, we don't know what the reasons are, but he does not have them.
And his wife.
We can look at, and we look at, his first State of the Union speech, where he even gets, statements in what's in the Constitution wrong, saying that we are all created equal. Well, that's not what's in the Constitution. The founder said that we all have unalienable rights. So, this is a man who is bitter. This is a man that's seeing his 8 years of leadership in this country fall apart day by day. He allowed leaks of American citizens. This unmasking thing is incredibly, something that is incredibly damaging to this country. Nobody's been found, guilty of doing this, and that's actually a crime in this country, but not under the Obama administration. And, there was never any evidence when you look at Michael Flynn's case. There was never any evidence they did anything wrong. And I think all the listeners out there are listening to what, Comey had said over the that they went back and found on audio that he said, "Oh, yeah, we sent a couple of FBI guys over to the White House, and it's such chaos. They have no idea what we're doing." And that was their way of going after Flynn. Flynn was always the first target. And by doing that, Comey had violated the 4th and 5th Amendments. So where are the charges on that he violated that? And on top of that, Flynn at no point was ever read his Miranda rights. So whatever he said, this wasn't under oath. So, it just goes to show you the way that the former administration went after the National Security Advisor for the President of the United States, and we'll never know how good or not good of an NSA director or advisor he would have been, because the media and the Democrats did a great job of completely just making him look like he didn't know what he was doing. You and I agree. He's a patriot. He would never do anything to harm this country, and it's just really sad that the evidence that we're starting to see now on Flynn is just it's discrediting. It should be discrediting for the entire administration. That the Obama administration just was completely out of hand here, and they should be worried, because I think that when this William Barr, he said that we've got Durham out there. He's going to have his report in 2 months, 3 months maybe, which is going to be right before the election. That's going to be damning. There's going to be charges in there. And, and Mr. Durham has always said this is already a criminal. There's already cases that were going to be tried criminally, and that will be they'll present that to William Barr, and the DOJ will have to come to terms with what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. Yeah. But, seeing these docs, this is what we've been promised for a long time. And Flynn will be the first one that's, vindicated out of all of this. So it's going to be interesting what we see in the next couple weeks.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back. And think about this, listener. If it can happen to somebody like Flynn, higher up, well-known general, well-respected, if it can happen to him, I don't think they'd have any problem whatsoever getting you. It'd be easy, real easy. Kimberly Dvorak, thekdreport.com. Be right back.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
I am doing all the right things, drinking plenty of water, eating right, and exercising. But month after month, my constipation with belly pain, straining, and bloating keep coming back.
Irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, affects 13 million Americans. Linzess, linaclotide, is a prescription medication that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess helps relieve belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Individual results may vary. Do not give to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com. That's LINZESS.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Sponsored by Allergan Pharmaceuticals and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Hi, I'm Dennis Bono. Join me for Breaking Bread with Bono. Each week, I eat and drink with the most interesting friends from the worlds of showbiz, sports, and politics, and other careers, as my guests share their stories with me. It's live from the Bootlegger Italian Bistro in Las Vegas. So please tune in to Breaking Bread with Bono, Saturdays 9 a.m. Pacific, Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific, right here on CRN Radio and CRNTalk.com.
Enjoy Tiki Live, the best cable alternative choice today, with hundreds of premium live TV programming, including ESPN, CNN, Fox News, Disney, AMC, Bravo, XF, OWN, and CRN Talk. Plus no contracts and low month-to-month service. Tiki Live, servicing North America, including the Caribbean. To get started, visit TikiLive.com to order hundreds of channels, including CRN Talk, at a fraction of what you're paying today. Visit TikiLive.com. That's TikiLive.com.
Everybody's talking at me.
Chuck Wilder, CRN, with my guest Kimberly Dvorak, TV correspondent, CW6 News, San Diego, One America News Network, and the senior foreign policy advisor for the Committee for Responsible Foreign Policy. And luckily, she's looking at responsible American policy, I guess. Boy, I'll tell you. You want to go on with this, or did you want to touch on this? Elon Musk is heading out of California.
Yeah. This is something that's interesting. You and I have talked about it, that California, big corporations like a Tesla would soon leave the state of California, and that obviously is going to hit the bottom line of taxes paid into the state of California, which will hurt them eventually, and they'll be just a service-oriented state, and I don't know how well people are going to be able to live working at Starbucks money. So he filed a lawsuit because the Alameda County here has decided to, force him to close and not be open for business, and he is claiming, and legal experts have looked at this and said that they believe that he has a case and he'll probably win, and on top of winning his case, in California, where he, has his operations, his headquarters, the other big winners out of this will be Texas and Nevada, which is where he will be moving his headquarters to, either Nevada or Texas, which we know has a good, tax rate for.
Let me tell you something real quick, Kimberly. When you talk about Texas, Elon Musk, remember, Houston, and all those, all the space. And Elon, he's really, he's way ahead of himself on that stuff. It's the other go ahead. Yeah, but I was just going to say real quick on that is that he's going to do this, and it's going to let other people that are in Silicon Valley here that they are actually going to open the doors to possibly leaving and getting a better tax deal with other states.
California better beware of this. And this
Mm-hmm.
whole going on and being shut down for 2-3 months is going to come back to haunt them. This is just the first case.
Well, California's out of control with Newsom, and now he's saying, we're going to have mail-in ballots. Yes, we're going to have that on the election. Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, the last thing I want to talk about, and this will actually, I think, kind of is I think, good news for the most part, is the fact that the president has said that he's going to sign an executive order that's going to pretty much, stop immigration coming to this country. And an April 21st to 26th poll stated that 65% of the country supports some form of a blanket ban until we get through the COVID virus and we get all of the American workers back to work. Only 34% oppose that. And there's in the letter sent to President Trump to, push this forward came from Senator Cruz, Senator Cotton, Senator Hawley, and Senator Grassley. So I think we're going to see that here by the end of the month as well. So that's good for Americans.
Two quick things. DeMoss tells me Toyota is also moving out of California. They're probably going to Japan. And then the other thing, is that the Muskas, they're having a little one. And I don't know if you saw the name of the baby. Unbelievable. It's like
No,
X.
I didn't.
It's like X with an A with part of an E on it times 12 something. I don't know. And somebody says the AE is actually supporting foreign intelligence out there or something. Kimberly,
Well,
we keep them up to date, don't we?
But yeah, we'll tell them that. But this is probably they keep the psychiatrist in business on this, so they have a future patient here.
Yeah, well, I'm helping them too. If I could only afford to go to them. All right, Kimberly Dvorak, thank you very much. Do it again.